Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is July 31st, 2025, and today Barcelona thrashed FC Seoul 3-7 with a double by Ferran Torres and a double by Lamine Yamal. And of course, today we're going to be analyzing that match because I saw a lot of exciting things. So, this is the post match live analysis. We got a lot to discuss. So, let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I finally made it to my family's house in Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys watched yesterday's videos, but I left home to come visit my family. I missed my flight. I got placed on another flight. It had a connection. That flight was delayed. I missed the connection. I had to spend the night in Detroit. Well, today I finally made it to Vegas. I'm with my family. So it's really, really good. I know my signal was really terrible. I was in a hotel in the middle of nowhere last night. Signal was terrible. I hope the signal's a little bit better. My mom has pretty slow internet. But anyways, let's talk about today's match because, ladies and gentlemen, today Barcelona played their second preseason match in Asia or their preseason Asia tour against FC Seoul, where Barcelona won 3-7, an absolute thrashing by Hansi Flick's men, where Barcelona scored 7 goals, a double by Lamine, a double by Ferran, a goal by Christensen, a goal by Gabi. And why can't I remember the other goal? Someone else. Oh, Lewandowski, of course, Robert Lewandowski, but 7 goals by Barcelona. And of course, today we're going to be talking about the match because unlike the Vissel Kobe match, which I did not watch because the servers crashed, so I was only able to see the highlights, this match I actually watched. And I have to say, I really like what I saw. Now, let's start with the first half because aside from Ronald Araujo, the first half was our usual starting 11, right? We had Balde, Kunde, we had Pau Cubarsí up front, we had Lamine, Rafinha, Lewandowski in the middle, we had Frankie, Pedri. I mean, it was our starting 11 aside from Araujo replacing Iñigo Martinez, who was feeling some discomfort, so the coach decided to take some precaution with him. So, of course, there not much to analyze, right? Seeing that 11 is like watching Barcelona from last season, right? Where it gets interesting is the second half, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's continue talking about the first half because the first half, I wasn't too impressed. Again, it was our starting 11, and he seemed to play with a lot of lack of intensity, a lot of lack of motivation. And of course, it's understandably so, right? This is a preseason match. There's nothing on the line. There's no trophies on the line, no points on the line. There's nothing on the line, right? It's just a preseason match, a summer match as part of a tour. It's understandable that the players are not fully motivated and played with 100% intensity. And that's how the team looked like. They were kind of just like out there having fun. Plus, it's really hot, very humid. So understandably so, the team was not playing with lots of intensity. But the good thing about what I saw from the first half is that this starting 11, when they want to, when they put their foot on the accelerator, they can do a lot of damage, right? Because that was the first half pretty much. The team not playing with lots of intensity, but every time they wanted to, boom, they put their foot on the accelerator, they would start attacking, they generate chances, and boom, 3 goals in the first half. Double by Lamine Yamal, which could have easily been a hat trick because his first shot bounced off the post. It landed at Lewandowski's feet, who all he had to do was push it in. By the way, Lamine Yamal, same reflection as the team as a whole. Was a little bit struggling with his dribbling, losing the ball a lot. In fact, one of his ball losses led to FC Seoul scoring a goal. But that's the thing about having a player like Lamine Yamal. Even when he's not fully sharp, even when he's not having his best matches, all of a sudden, light bulb turns on, and the guy just single-handedly goes and scores you 2 goals, almost 3. So overall, first half, not much to talk about. Again, our starting 11 aside from Araujo, not a lot of intensity there. But when they wanted to, they would put their foot on the accelerator and start creating and causing damage. After all, this is a team who won 3 trophies, made it all the way to the semifinals of the Champions League. Second half is where it got really interesting for me. Why? Because now we're no longer talking about a starting 11. The entire starting 11 goes to the bench, replaced by all new 11 players. And here's the thing. The team still worked. Hansi Flick's vision, Hansi Flick's idea, Hansi Flick's strategy was still visible on the team, on the field, I'm sorry. And remember, this was a completely different team. All 11 players were subbed out, but Hansi Flick's strategy, vision, style of play was still very evident on the field. And that is a huge, huge props to Hansi Flick. Because as I've explained before, a successful coach, when they design and implement a style of play, an identity, that identity remains on the field regardless of who is on the field or who is playing, right? It becomes like a machine. It becomes like imagine a car. You have a car. If you switch a tire and put another tire, the car is still the same car. It still functions the same way. And that's what a successful coach does. When they implement an identity, their vision, their strategy on the team, that vision should remain uncompromised regardless of who's playing, whether it's your starter or your sub, whether your starter got injured, whether another starter got red card. The system should still continue to work. And that's exactly what we saw during the second half. Completely different team, new 11 players, and yet the idea was still the same. And not only that, but what I really liked about the second half is that we finally have a deep bench. Because the 11 players that were on the field during the second half could easily be 11 starters. Right now, we have 2 sets of 11 starters, where if you could replace that entire starting team with all the bench players, your team still functions, your team still competes. And in fact, during the second half, Barcelona scored 4 goals and only conceded 1, as opposed to our starting 11, who scored 3 goals and conceded 2. And this is why I'm very, very excited about this, because we finally have a deep bench where, hey, you want to rest Lamine Yamal? No problem. Rooney Bargi can come in. Not a big deal. Oh, Rafinha's tired. No big deal. Marcus Rashford comes in. Oh, Lewandowski, you feeling a little tired? Hey, no big deal. Ferran Torres can take your place. And that's what I really, really liked about the second half, because we definitely have now 2 teams. We now have 2 first teams, both of them capable of competing. And that's really, really good to see, because we haven't seen that in a while. For many, many seasons, the team would be out there, your starting team would be out there, things are not working out, maybe the team is losing, maybe they're drawn, and you look at the bench, you're like, all right, who can come out and make a difference, or who can come out and help? And there was nobody. And you're like, all right, so what do we do now? Like, we got to continue with the same 11, but it's not working. Oh, well, let's hope for a miracle. Let's hope Messi dribbles 10 players and scores a goal, right? But now that's no longer the problem. Now, that's overall sensation as far as the team. We finally have a deep bench. But now let's talk about players, because I'm very delightfully surprised with Rooney Bargi. I really like what I'm seeing from this guy. I like the way he moves. I like the way he reads the plays. I like the way he positions himself. Now, of course, he's not there yet where he could, be, superstar, Lamine Yamal type level. Not at all. He just arrived from Sweden, and this is, it's still a preseason after all. But I see a lot of potential in that kid. And if he continues on this trajectory where he's impressed Flick, his teammates, his coaches, I think we can easily have a reliable substitute for Lamine Yamal. And who knows, maybe in the future, if he does end up blowing up, he could take Lamine Yamal's place, with Lamine Yamal moving to the attacking midfield position, because I can see Lamine Yamal easily play in that number 10 position, because he has that ability, shots from the outside the box, from inside the box. He knows how to combine, how to filter passes. So I can easily see Lamine Yamal eventually transition to the number 10, kind of like how Messi started out on the wing and then kind of moved into a number 10 position. I can see that happening. But I'm very, very, very delightfully surprised with Rooney Bargi. Marcus Rashford, I don't want to say I was surprised, because, of course, we've all seen what Rashford can do. Hopefully, and we've been seeing that in the summer. Hopefully, he can keep that up during the season. Now, another player I want to talk about, Gabi. Gabi. Because last season, there was a lot of people, oh, what does Flick see in Gabi? Oh, I don't understand that Gabi's. Well, if you watch the match today, that's what Flick sees in Gabi. That's what I see in Gabi. That's the Gabi that we all knew. But of course, last season, it was more of a transition season for him. He had just came off a serious injury where he tore his ACL. He underwent surgery. He was out for an entire year. So last season was more of a transitional season as he was getting back into competitive rhythm and finding his rhythm in sport. And today we saw that Gabi from before the injury. And that's what Flick sees in Gabi. Gabi today was absolutely phenomenal. And it's not just the player that people, oh, he just runs a lot. Oh, he just like fights. No. I mean, this is a guy who can attack, who can press, who can recover, who can intercept, who can combine with his teammates. And his goal was absolutely chef's kiss. The way he turns around and loses his mark and the way he puts it in the corner. I mean, that's the Gabi that why everybody is, always hyping him. It's not for nothing. It's because that is a complete player. And today we saw that Gabi. And by the way, that captain armband looks really good on him because today I saw him motivating his teammates, telling them what to do, keeping them in the game, keeping them engaged. And I think Gabi today made a good case for himself on why maybe he should be considered as one of the captains for the next season. Jofre Torrens, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I still think he still needs a little bit more development with Barca Athletic, but I think he could definitely be a good option to substitute Alejandro Balde and then Andreas Christensen. Andreas Christensen, I think today, once again, he made the case that he should be chosen over Ronald Araujo. And I don't say because of the goal. By the way, one hell of a goal from Andreas Christensen. Reminded me of Kunde's goal in a Copa del Rey final. But not because of that. Because Kunde today showed us that he is a complete center back that Barcelona needs. Not only is he good defensively, reading plays, intercepting passes, staying on his mark, but offensively, the way he builds up from the back, the way he associates with his teammates, the way he can filter passes through the lines, that's something that Araujo cannot do, and that's something that Araujo really, really struggles with. So today, Christensen, I think, made the case once again that he should be the choice over Ronald Araujo. But of course, we know that Deco is a big fan of Araujo and prefers to push Christensen out. But for now, Christensen is insisting on staying, and it looks like that's what's going to be. But overall, that's overall my my sensation about this match. Of course, I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I really like the second half. I really like that we now have a deep bench, 2 first teams pretty much, where if you swap out one for the other one, no big deal. The match continues. The team continues to compete. I really like Rooney Bargi. I really liked Christensen today over Araujo and Gabi. Gabi, he is back, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are about the match in the comment section or in the chat section. And then I'm going to go live in a few more minutes because, of course, I still have to cover today's news. By the way, before we end, I do want to cover real quick Hansi Flick's statement because he was asked about today's match. So we'll just end the video with that. But this is what German coach said. The first half had a good start, and then we were a bit lazy. But we came back to a great level. And in the second half, too, with Gabi, Ferran, Marquez, also Gerard Martin in a position that is not his usual one, which is kind of like what I talked about. First half, the team seemed a little lazy, but whenever they wanted to press, well, they did, and they ended up scoring 3 goals. And then Flick was asked about Gabi, and again, to me, one of the best surprises of today, and this is what the German coach had to say. We saw him at the end of last season, and he was at a very good level. Here, what I've seen from Gabi is exactly what I want to see. Pushing the team with the R-band. It's good to see him like that. And then he added, Gavi can play in both positions, 6 or 8. So that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the match. Again, I'm going live in a few more minutes to cover the news from today. I will see you guys in that video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca.